Review of WWE RAW, the week commencing the 30th of September. So it starts with Jey Uso coming out. He says basically it's been hard. It's been a hard road. It's hard grind, but he's here. And he's the champion now. Braun Breaker actually comes out and congratulates Jey Uso. He doesn't actually attack him, so that was quite nice. Judgment Day then are talking to Finn, who's not in the arena, so they don't know what's happening yet, whether he's coming or not. Then we have our first match, which is Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods, because they had some beef last week. Really good match, go and watch it, but in the end Xavier got the win by pulling off Rey Mysterio's mask. That's not very nice. Then we have Sonya fronting on Lyra, going back and forth. Let's see how that ends. Then we have Kofi Kingston questioning Xavier's win. Obviously, he pulled off Rey Mysterio's mask, says it was a bit sketchy, but then he wants Xavier to get an IC championship match, so we'll see what happens there. Then we have Lyra versus Zoe Starks in a really good match. Go and watch it, but in the end, Zoe Starks gets the victory. Then we have Lyra and Tegan and Katana sort of arguing with the Unholy team, going back and forth, you know how they do. Then we have, look him, CM Punk comes out. So does Drew come out. Basically, they go back and forth. Drew calls out CM Punk, says he's not a good person under everything he says. And CM Punk says he's angry and he's coming for Drew and he will finish him off and he will bury him and he will also make him beg. That's that bad blood. Let's see what happens. Then we have Braun Strowman ready for his match against Bronson Reed, and R-Truth and The Miz start talking. And R-Truth thinks Karen Cross is picking on The Miz, and he also gets a tag team match against the AOP, so let's see what happens there. Then we have Sami Zayn calling out Gunther, say he won't go away until he gets his World Championship title shot, so let's see if he does. Then we have the Judgment Day versus the LWO in a really good spirited match. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it, but in the end, the Judgment Day get the victory. Then we have Finn Balor call out Damian Priest. Liv Morgan calls out Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea Ripley comes out, and then they all brawl, and then Damien comes out to back her up as well, so it turns into a big brawl. Then we have Sheamus calling out Butch or Pete Dunne. Obviously he doesn't like to be called Butch, but let's see what happens there. Then we have Chad Gable versus Kofi Kingston in a really good match. Go and watch it, but in the end Chad Gable gets the victory, and Bronson Reed is then getting ready for his match against the last monster standing, so let's see what happens there. Then Gunther comes out. Then as soon as he comes out, Sami Zayn comes out and calls basically Gunther scared, said he's scared to face him for the title. Gunther says he's really embarrassed that he lost to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and he doesn't want it happening again. And Sami Zayn says Gunther hid after losing, and then they basically brawl. Then we have R-Truth and The Miz versus the AOP. Really good match, but in the end, The Miz turns on R-Truth and AOP win. I knew that was coming. Then we have Braun Breaker talking to Gunther, saying, look, I'm coming for your title next, basically. Then in the main event, it's Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman in a last monster standing match, I should say. Really good match. Go and watch it. But in the end, due to the returning of... That's not the song. Seth Rollins comes back and costs Braun Strowman, gives him the win and costs Bronson Reed the match.